Hi there, Chris, chap in the cap, Motolegends. Bit of a different format this morning. Now, we're fortunate here at Motolegends in that we often have people travelling huge distances to come and see us. Sometimes they're flying in from overseas, sometimes they come down to Guildford Station by train or they come by bus, a lot drive by car, many obviously come on two wheels. For those who do, we want to come up with some ideas about where you could ride to in and around the area. So, over the coming few days, with members of the team here and with friends, we're going to go out and explore some of our favourite haunts in the Surrey and West Sussex area. Now, as far as we're concerned here at Motolegends, we don't go anywhere without a decent breakfast inside us. On a clear day, there's nowhere nicer than Newlands Corner. It's a local beauty spot up on the North Downs. It's about a couple of miles from the shop and it commands fabulous views across 8 counties. Many people imagine Surrey to be a very suburban county, but it's actually the most wooded county in the UK. It's a very beautiful region. Now, importantly, the bacon baps at Newlands are the best in the country, especially when they're washed down with tea from their huge teapots. If it's wet or a little bit too chilly for you, you can always go across the road to a cafe called the Plucky Pheasant. It's the place to go if you prefer knife and fork or a roof over your head. They've also got gardens so you can sit outside if you prefer. But make no mistake, in both cases here, we're talking about top quality nosh. These are not your average biker cafes. Gin drinking and biking, let's face it, don't make for easy bedfellows. But Belly, a coast down the hill from Newlands Corner, is one of the best small batch gin distilleries in the country. Now, many supposed distillers are little more, in truth, than gin bottlers. But Silent Paul, sited, spookily enough, at the Silent Paul, is the real deal. They pick all their botanicals from the surrounding countryside. It's run by Bike Mad Ian, who's my oldest friend. I've actually not known him that long, he's just very old. Personally, I love what these guys are doing, but I cannot drink gin. Or rather, I can't drink gin and stay on my feet. But my old mum, she loves a tipple, so I'm always under instruction when I'm passing to pick up a bottle for her. Strictly, of course, on doctor's orders. All of your gin and your mum's gin. Is that enough for her?
Yeah, it's an eye.
One of our favourite local eateries is a cafe in a bustling, rather chic boutique come department store in Cranley. Now, like many villages up and down the country, Cranley lays claim to being the country's largest village. It's actually where we used to be based before we moved the business over to Guildford. The store is called 140, it's on the High Street and it's next to Sainsbury's. It's owned and run by a couple of friends of ours, Richard and Elaine. In the cafe they serve an amazing all-day breakfast and they have a range of healthy and, if necessary, not so healthy lunches. They do great cakes and proper coffee. Now, Richard and Elaine both ride, so bikers are always welcome, but please don't tell everyone about this place. We prefer it to remain our little secret. Our next stop on the outskirts of Arundel is a place called the Brew House Project. Now, I only learned about this place from our in-house designer, Graham. Graham's a real coffee snob, so he loves the fact that they roast their own. They also do fabulous pizzas and craft beers, which are his 2 other greatest loves after his pampered Kawasaki Z900 RS. It's a cool place, it's a great spot to hang out of a summer's evening. They've even got a table tennis table inside if you're feeling energetic. It's about an hour's ride from the office. There are several routes from our place that will take you to Arundel, and they'll all take you along beautiful, sinewy riding roads through stunning scenery and picturesque villages. Obviously, we're all big bike fans here at Motolegends, so we can never resist a decent bike shop. Now, all of the major brands have got showrooms within about 50 miles of here, but if you're looking for something a wee bit different, you can't beat Ideal Motorcycles. They're based at Washington, just off the A24. The owner is a guy called Simon Elliott. He's been a customer of ours for many years. He's been riding trials since he was about 9 years old. He spent his entire life around bikes. His main business did pretty well, so he started buying bikes, the kind of bikes he dreamt of as a kid. He filled one shed with them, so he built another. Started to get out of control, so his wife put her foot down. He had to sell some bikes, so suddenly he found himself as a dealer. Now, his place is a veritable cornucopia of two-wheel delights, bikes from the 40s right through to the 90s. It's a place that's well worth a visit. They're based on a large farm, and luckily just around the corner they've got this wonderful farm shop. It's called the Spring Garden Nursery, do lovely wraps, cakes, and not a bad flat white. One of our favourite rides in the summer, sometimes with customers, sometimes on our own, is down to Littlehampton on the south coast for fish and chips. After all, who can resist a fish and chip run down to the seaside? Now it's a nice ride from here that sees us going south down to Petworth, east on the A272 to the A29, then turn right down to Bognor Regis. At Motolegends we like to do things we think with a touch of style, so the East Beach Fish and Chip Cafe is not like your usual fish and chip shop. It's actually an award-winning architectural work of art, and from afar the building looks uncannily like Ayers Rock. Sometimes we take a table inside, often we queue at the window and eat our fish and chips on the beach. It's a special place, and the place is pretty special too. See what I did there? Both Surrey and West Sussex are jam-packed with fantastic pubs. There's at least one in every village. Some are cosy and quiet, some are noisy, some have great beers, some do amazing food. But a pub that we really like is called the Duke of Cumberland. It's a couple of miles south of Fernhurst. It's in the village of Henley, and you'll never find that village unless you are specifically trying to find it. And even when you do have directions, you'll probably miss the turning. Now we love this pub. It's got a pretty garden. The food is good. It's about as quintessential as a rural English pub gets. It's popular with the locals and those in the know, so it can get a little bit busy. Another great pub is called the Horse Guards Inn at Tillington. It was recently named Pub of the Year. Now it's a great pub, but not necessarily the kind of pub that you'll turn up wearing your one-piece leathers. Every ride in our book requires a destination, and as far as we're concerned there's none finer than the Goodwood circuit. It's about 45 minutes south of us. Now I've personally always loved Goodwood. Even today when I go there, you squint and you can find yourself almost back in the 50s and 60s. And you can imagine Stirling Moss pounding around the back of the circuit in his 250 short wheelbase. It's really the nirvana for any classic racing fan. But anyone can visit the circuit at any time, and often when you're at the circuit, there's a good chance that you'll find something interesting going on the track. So the pandemic has curtailed activity a little on the circuit. Normally the old control tower is the place to go to grab a snack. That's on the outside of the circuit, but until that reopens, the Aerodrome Cafe on the infield is where to go. There you can grab a sandwich, cake, cup of tea, and watch the aeroplanes come and go. Less than 15 minutes from Goodwood is the Chittista Marina. There you'll see some truly beautiful yachts in the harbour. It's a hive of activity down there. It's a great place to catch a spectacular sunset. They serve a mean burger in the Boathouse Cafe, or you can just grab a beer, take a seat and watch the world go by. We love this place, it's a fabulous location. Although, if I were to be critical, when it's busy the staff can become a little bit overrun. Halfway between Petworth and Midhurst on the A272, you'll come across Caversham Park. It's home to one of the country's top polo clubs. It's also a great place to stop for lunch or afternoon tea. The cafe and the farm shop are both pretty spectacular. The shop is particularly special in my view. They've got their own butchers, their own cheese shop, and a wide selection of local produce. So here we are back at base again. Now over the last few days we've visited just a handful of our favourite destinations, but in fact we've barely scratched the surface of what's on offer within, say, 30 miles of the shop. There really is something in the surrounding area to suit all tastes. Hopefully from the footage you'll have seen some pretty amazing roads and some amazing landscapes too. So next time you pay us a visit, build in a bit of time to explore the area. You will not be disappointed, I promise you. All I'll ask is that you don't frighten the natives too much. That's just not cool. Bikers are welcome just about everywhere in the county, but we wouldn't want that to change. Finally, I'd like to thank Ollie Tennant, who's made this little film for us. Now, Ollie's got a fantastic eye, and he might even have made us look cool. Of course, those who know us will know the truth. The place is pretty special, and no, I got it wrong. Okay. It's a special place. For fuck's sake, Graham. Okay, right. And the place is oh, you fucking cunt. Okay, I'm just going to do the last line. It's good enough.